host Ibi, and obviously a very familiar face, Mr. Masood Dassu. How are you, brother?
Ibi, good evening to everybody, all the listeners, all the viewers. Assalamu alaikum. I'm good. How are
Walaikum
you, Ibi?
salam. Yeah, good man, Masood. Always good to have you on. I really love your take on not only United but football and the kind of banter that we normally have. So always good to have you here.
Yeah, good. Always too good to be on the channel. So always look forward to speaking to you, Shady, as well. So it's always
Fantastic stuff.
enjoyable.
Fantastic stuff. But so today we got a bit of a packed agenda that we're running through. Obviously, it's a bit fluid, but we kind of got some structure to it. The first being obviously the World Cup, man. From the last time we chatted, the World Cup is really heated up. Give us your thoughts, man. What do you think so far of the World Cup? It started a bit slow. I was a little bit nervous. People weren't getting into it. But what's your thoughts after two rounds of football and a couple of first games gone already of the third round?
Yeah, so I think from when we last spoke, there wasn't really much hype or sort of excitement for the World Cup starting because obviously with the geopolitical situation worldwide and stuff, a lot of people were put off by where the World Cup's being held and that kind of thing. So in terms of that, it's now starting to build up like a crescendo. Especially getting towards the knockouts, and I think it will pick up more as more teams qualify, and then obviously it's the first World Cup where there's a last 32. Normally we go straight into like a last 16. So there's an extra knockout round. So that also is kind of exciting, especially for like Bafana, making through to the knockouts and getting out of the group for the first time. So yeah, it's been interesting, but I think it's building up, and there's a lot more excitement now with the World Cup coming to a head in terms of the league phase ending now. So I think all the sort of unnecessary games and stuff have gone by the wayside, and now it's just a matter of us getting into the knockouts, which a lot of people are looking forward to. And there's some from there tantalizing ties possibly could happen with with how the draw is set up.
No, agreed. And I think, you know, I know a lot of people were a little bit, cautious coming into this World Cup with 48 teams. Not sure if it's going to be great. With a lot of dud games. I must admit, the teams that I wrote off coming into this World Cup have really given us a show, right? And it's the ones that we expected a lot from are the ones that have actually disappointed us. Like if you think of Turkey, if you think of South Korea, those are teams we expected a lot from coming into this World Cup. Why do you think that's it? Do you think it's because the game is more global and the smaller teams also have access, like in the Premier League, funding and stuff, but they have access to maybe better training, better sort of fixtures leading up to the World Cup. Why do you think they're able to compete at this level and kind of make so many upsets, right? Because we're not used to so many upsets, Masood.
Yeah, but okay. There's a few things there. Like so a lot of players from the smaller countries play in sort of bigger leagues, not even maybe bigger leagues, but they play in Europe as well as other as other leagues in the world. And then you have the South African way where at the moment Bafana are using basically mostly homegrown players. So sometimes it has its pros and cons. But like Turkey has been very disappointing for me, especially. Uh, I thought they were like a team that could cause a few upsets in this World Cup, especially with the younger players they have like Adagula and Yildiz from Juventus. So I was very surprised at how poorly they've played and how they've have not managed to to even sort of create a dent in their group. And then there's a few African countries that have been disappointing as well, where I think like there's countries that have just stuck to Ghana is a good example where they relied mostly on the older players, so it's more like a farewell tour for these players at the
Like
World
a
Cup
swan
instead of
song.
yeah, exactly. Like a farewell tour for them instead of playing the younger players who they do have, who can cause problems. Uh, and I suppose it just depends on who the coach is and that sort of thing as well, where what they achieve, what they want, and aims and achievements that they want to get through the World Cup.
Yeah. Before we get into the African teams, because you touched on some of the African teams, because I think there's a lot of talk coming into this World Cup about why does Africa have 10 participants, but I think we've proved why we should be kind of doing, kind of having these participants. But we'll touch on that. Just your thoughts on who's been your surprise of the tournament, team that you've been following in the tournament, disappointment of the tournament. So those three, Masood, from your perspective, it doesn't need to be a team that you necessarily like, but one you would have thought would have done better, one that is overachieving, and one that is the big surprise of the tournament.
For me, the surprise of the tournament has been host country, the States, USA. Pochettino has got them playing, and I mean they've been in the build up to the World Cup. They haven't had exactly a smooth run. With some bad results in the Gold Cup and that sort of thing. And I was quite surprised at how freely they've played the football they've played as well. It's not. It's like 100 miles an hour. It's sort of like Klopp's
Heavy
version
metal
of
football.
Klopp's version of football, 100%. So they've been nice. They've been my surprise of the tournament, and there's no doubt about it. Uh, my my team that I think that have improved has to be Bafana from where they started the first game to where they've ended up now, qualifying for the next round. Which for all of us South Africans, it's amazing. And then for me, the most disappointing team of the World Cup so far has been Turkey, no doubt. For me, Turkey has been a very big disappointment. One of my friends in the UK won't appreciate me saying that because he's a Turkey guy, so he always we always have banter with him and our South Africa and Turkey.
No, fantastic stuff. I think you touched on a few key points there. I think your first one, around Bafana being the most improved. I think 100%. They've really, especially after that Mexico game. We thought the writings on the wall. These guys are going to just be the whipping boys of the tournament. And I think the rest of almost the laughing stock of the rest of Africa. Right? It felt like the whole of Africa is ganging up on us because of all of the domestic issues that we're facing. But I think we've got the last laugh against them, especially a lot of my Nigerian friends have been a little
The
bit salty today.
jollof has extra salt in it today,
Is
unfortunately for
is
them.
is is Ghanaian jollof better or Nigerian jollof? I mean, let's not be controversial. Let's leave that. Let's leave that today.
Yeah,
In terms of your favorites, I mean, the surprise of the tournament, America. I mean, the thing that surprised me is I expect America to do well, right? Because of the investment they have, the players
yeah,
playing all
yeah.
over. But Pochettino doesn't play this style of football, but it's looked like
Mm-mm.
he's adapted, right, coming into this World Cup, especially taking advantage of the conditions. So that's been great. And your disappointment was obviously Turkey, right? Because I think they've really disappointed everybody. I think a lot of people had high hopes for Turkey, and they've come in at a whimper, man. Like zero effort to kind of run us through. Masood, let me just run through some of the comments here. We've got Vereniging all boys. That's Abdul. The boys are back, baby. Love it, Abdul. Thank you. Ons het julle gesê, papa, 100%. What does Driekke say? Hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie,
It's
né?
written, yeah, yeah.
So that's important. Trezor, the troll, has followed us from the WhatsApp group onto the chat.
He saw
Um,
what's on the agenda. He saw what's on the agenda.
you all should stop. There's no debate. Messi and Ronaldo cannot be in the same conversation. There it is. I said it. Trezor, stick around. Masood is going to unpack it a lot for us. I am the Sheikh. May the peace, blessings, and mercy of God be upon you. Thank you so much. Azim Iqbal. I think this might be for you, Masood. Mufti. Are
Yeah,
you
that's
the
my
Mufti,
nickname.
Masood?
That's the nickname in our overseas group.
Ah, nice. Mufti. And then I'm the Sheikh. Go easy on Turkey.
That's
Wallahi, I
that's
beg.
So I just because he was trolling me after Bafana's lost against Mexico. So after Turkey got knocked out, I just asked him, did you expect them to get donnered?
or while we playing on Sunday, they can be taking a nice cruise on the Bosphorus, watching Bafana play Canada. So I am the
Yeah.
Sheikh. Let us know what you think about that. Masood, turning our attention to before we move on to the Ronaldo Messi debate at the World Cup or even the Manchester United players. Africa, talk to me, Masood. Morocco has been confirmed. South Africa has been confirmed. Ivory Coast are playing a little bit later against Curacao, I think. They
Yeah.
could kind of book their position in the next round. What do you think? Like, which other African teams do you think have a really good chance of making it through to the round of 32?
Yeah, so Ivory Coast, I think they've got a good chance. Look, the African teams have played well, except for Ghana. I mean, remember Cape Verde have also done well so far at this tournament, so they have a chance as well. But I think they got a very difficult last game in their group. But they could cause a surprise for us going through to the next round. But for me, Morocco has been one of the stronger teams in the tournament, along with USA, and we obviously we talking of Africa now, but after their first game against Brazil, it's just shown how good that performance Morocco was against Brazil. Uh, you know, coming through that game
Yeah.
with their remaining results. So Morocco have done well. Look, I know they're from Africa, but for me, some of them always feel like they are Arab and not African. So, so there's always a debate about that for the North African countries. But look, Egypt also has got a good chance, obviously with Salah in them. So there's quite a few African teams that can make it through and then justify that. Justify having so many African countries in the World Cup because we've always been complaining we only have five. With and then the qualifying for the World Cup is to be even tougher for all the other African countries.
So we've got
So
a we've got a we've got a question for you, Masood, from I'm the Sheikh. Turkey agreed, very underwhelming. I mean, we're not even going to go down that route. Surprised by SA. I think we're all surprised by SA. But it's not something we didn't know is in the locker, especially the build up to the World Cup. So I'm the chef. Look at our last couple of streams. You'll see we speak about, the Bafana journey to the World Cup and the tough teams they had to get through to get here. But how far do you think they'll go, Masood? We've got Canada in the next round. I think Canada is there for the taking, man.
yeah, I think South Africa got a chance if they play like how they played the last two. Look, from the first game, the last two games have been improvement. They could have did better against Czechia in the second game. But yesterday, last night, early this morning as well, we missed a lot of chances. Even though we came through with the 1-0, we could have easily won the game 3 or 4-0,
Hundred
which
percent.
which and you know what? It wouldn't be a surprise because during our journey to get to the World Cup, we did score quite a bit of goals. It's not like in the old days of Bafana where we used to struggle to score goals in qualifying and stuff. But our qualifying journey this time around has been very good in terms of scoring goals, and we've had a tight defense as well. With the two youngsters that we have at the back, it's been unreal. So if we can stick to what we did this morning against Canada, we definitely have a chance of going through. And it wouldn't be a surprise to me, but I mean maybe it was a surprise to Canada and stuff. But after their first game where they scored a head full of goals, they haven't been exactly as open as what it
Yeah,
was in the first game. So we do have a definite a chance of going through to the last 16, which would be an amazing achievement for Bafana
100%. And then knockout football, anything can happen, right?
on that day. Yeah, on
You
that
get
day.
to the last 16, and you never know. One
Yeah.
one surprise result, and then you find yourself in a
In a quarter.
quarterfinal.
But also we do have a Mokoena back for the next game after his suspension. So that's also
Exactly.
going to be so. And I mean, for me, the standout in the last game has been Yaya Sitole. After that first game against Mexico, for him to have a game that he did yesterday was brilliant, and I'm
Okay.
actually quite happy for him.
No, I think the boys did themselves, justice with their performance because I think everybody was quietly confident that we could do something, but I think we were expecting the worst, right? But we completely outplayed South Korea. It's not like we got a
Mhm.
breakaway goal and we kind of hit that. And Abdul, if you haven't seen Masood, go and watch the Salam Media interview. Abdul kind of unpacks how Bafana has been developing this grassroots football and why the local football kind of serves our purpose better on this global stage, where that 97% of local players playing for us at the World Cup, and even the ones overseas like Lyle Foster has been finding it difficult to find his feet in the team. But
100%.
it's your local bred players that are actually taking the slack and kind of moving forward. And we forget that while it's local, we still have treble winners in Orlando Pirates players that are there. We've got the CAF Champions League players from Sundowns that are there.
Sundowns, yeah.
So I mean, it's not that. And we've got three Valis in the team. I mean,
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, two boys from Sharpeville and one
really
from Seboke.
small, really small area to
Yeah.
take three of them up to national level and do us proud on the international stage shows you that our local football is developing, and
E-
the things that coaches like Abdul and team are doing from the
Yeah, yeah,
grassroots
100%.
level is coming through onto the international stage.
No, but our area has always had good sportsmen. From all sports or sporting codes in South Africa. I mean, you had Pakis Botha from Vereniging Hoërskool that played for the Springboks, and
Yeah,
then obviously Charles Schwartzel, our golfer. you know
the Mokel
so we've always
brothers.
the Mokel brothers. I mean, we played with a couple of them and against a couple of them
Exactly.
back in the day. So they've also been through here. I mean, we've had quite a bit. I mean, back in the very old days, Gerald Bosch also came from Vereniging. So we have sporting excellence in the area.
I mean,
And
Bafana, we had a previous Bafana captain coming out of the Val, right? Aaron Mokoena as well. So, I mean, it's
100%.
steeped in legacy, yeah?
100%. And another thing with Bafana qualifying, EB, the money that the SAFA gets from this qualifying for the knockout round is amazing. Almost 400 million rand, which I hope the players get a fair share, and that it gets used more for grassroots football nationally in South Africa. And we can replicate this and build to qualify for not just this World Cup. I mean, we must make it to be. Basically qualify for more World Cups going forward. Because I mean, after having 2010, this is the first World Cup we qualified for. So it was a 16-year gap, which
Exactly.
that shouldn't happen for South Africa. I
It
mean, we
shouldn't.
have money in our local league, so we should be able to be qualifying more regularly for World Cups.
Agreed, agreed. So we've got some some comments here. Canada are there for the taking for sure, says I am the Sheikh. Abdul says we're cracking them. What do you think the score will be? I think potentially a 2-1 to Bafana. I
Yeah,
think Canada will score. We're going to have to score two to win. Two or more.
100%. And the thing is, when it comes to knockout football, it's not as free flowing as your league stages and stuff. It because people are scared to make mistakes, and that's so it's the games tend to be more tighter and more like a chess game in a sense than like your in your qualifying rounds.
No, 100%. Masood, let's move on from the African teams. Let's move on to Manchester United and what the players are doing at the World Cup. And I'd like to start off, obviously, with Captain Fantastic, Bruno Fernandes. Again, another brilliant performance, adding to his assist tally. And that free kick routine with Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, my goodness. What a free kick. That was outstanding.
Yeah, besides that assist for him, the weight on that pass for that assist for Ronaldo, for his second goal was unreal. I mean, and he's been doing that week in week out for us at United, and it's just continuing his form from the season. And I think he's going to actually have a better end to the tournament. I think Portugal needed the result that they
Yeah.
that they went through. So it will free them up also and sort of release the tension and stress that they were going through after the first game, where they got criticized, rightly so, for poor performance. But I think Bruno is going to come into his own in the next few games as well to build up his confidence again in the World Cup and sort of go back. I mean, take that form that he had at United and show the rest of the world on the biggest world stage what he can do.
100%. Five more assists, and then he breaks another record.
Yeah, but we won't say anything about it because people get salty again about United players.
Guys in the chat, we got people watching. Please hit the the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't just come watch, man. Give us the likes, give us the subscribes.
Yeah, especially
Uh,
especially my friends from overseas. Please subscribe to the channel, guys.
you'll see Masood a lot more, regularly on the channel. So come on, guys, hit
And
the
then
hit the like button.
maybe the next player of United has been amazing is Cunha. What a
Oh
World
my
Cup he's
goodness!
having.
I mean, he's surfing his way through this World Cup, man. It's like he's meant for the Miami Waves.
Yeah, man, it's unreal how well he's been playing. I mean, today you did, I don't know if you've seen that the someone R9 gave him
I
some
saw that.
praise today, so which he was very happy with. But Cunha has been amazing, and I think if the first game he started on the bench and he came on and scored, and he's been amazing the next two games. He's almost undroppable. And I actually read something today about if United don't go for a striker or an attacker, in like a striker in a sense, why not play him as in some games as a striker? But
Masood, don't let Ineos and the Glazers hear you,
no,
Masood,
it's not.
man.
Don't worry
Don't
about
let
that.
them hear you. Keep that for the silent discussions, man.
Nah, but I think he's been amazing, and I think if he continues the World Cup, it's going to bode well for United next season with his confidence and stuff because he had a good season at United, but I think there's more to come from him at United going forward, especially a confident Cunha.
Yeah, look at Abdul telling us Bruno to Arsenal. No, Abdul, that's
You
not
know,
happening.
I told one guy, and I still Abdullah. Someone said something before, and I told him, dreaming is free, dreaming is free, but delusions take you to institutions.
Abdul, get your hands off Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, no,
So, I mean, we
they are getting Bruno, maybe Bruno G from Newcastle, the other United.
listen, I've seen some talks about Alvarez swap for Gyökeres, but let's not get into that. I'll leave that for Abdul to unpack. Masood, let's touch on to Ahmad Diallo. He had a good first game. Started the second, but was hooked after about 60 65 minutes. Didn't make the impact in the second game as he would have wanted to. But what do you think? Do you think coming out today in a crunch fixture and kind of getting Ivory Coast over the line?
Is he in the starting lineup?
I don't know if it's today in the target. I haven't seen, but I'm saying the
I was
first
going to
game
say,
he came off the bench.
yeah.
Second game he started but was hooked. What do you expect from him in the next game, guys? Let us know. Is Ahmad in the starting lineup?
No, so I think Ahmad has been okay. Not no, he's not tearing up any threes so far in the World Cup. He's got a good goal coming off the bench, but Ivory Coast themselves were quite disappointing in the second game. So you can't read too much into that also. So it might be a bad performance or something from him, but hopefully they'll be more confident going into this game. But Ahmad can be a game changer like he was in the first game for Ivory Coast. So he's always got that in him. I mean, like Liverpool have found out and City have found out late in games. That's last past season. And then Ibi, moving on from Ahmad, I mean, he has been okay and he can be okay. But I think another player that's been underrated and has had a good World Cup from the United players has been Nusayr Mazraoui.
Oh my goodness, Mazraoui has been
He's like a
exceptional,
beast.
man.
Ever since he shaved his head off to look maybe like Shaker, but he's been amazing. He's been amazing this tournament, and it just shows you what a versatile player he's been.
Yeah,
And what he can bring to United. And the thing is, he doesn't sort of tear up threes at United, but he brings you a calmness in he might not be the best going forward, but defensively he's a rock.
100%.
And
And I
this
think
World Cup
and I
is
think he
tackling
solves
especially has been something. His
and he
tackling has been
solves a lot of
amazing.
problems for us, right? At United, because like you say, with that versatility, he can play out wide for us. He can play in the middle. Aerodynamic head now. I think maybe that's making all the difference. I mean, that one picture of where he's holding off those two defenders in the air while
Yeah.
he's kind of battling for the ball. I mean, that was iconic, right?
I,
And I
I
think
think maybe that
it's
I
an
think that will
image
be
that will live forever from an iconic World Cup perspective, right?
I think maybe that will be Maguire's favorite image of the World Cup. Seeing that picture, you'll probably tell him at a training ground. Why doesn't that happen at Old Trafford?
At Old Trafford. And then last one of the United players before we move on to the Ronaldo Messi discussion, because I do see that we're kind of running on time here. Kobe Mainu. Been unused so far in the
Uh,
World Cup. He had obviously had a struggle under Ruben Amorim, but as Kerry came in, showed why he's the player everyone thinks that he will be. Goal watch Germany 1-0. There we go, live. Thanks, I'm the chef. Guys, whoever's watching, 1-0 up for Germany, obviously solidifying themselves in the group. But Mainu, Masood, why do you think Mainu can't make this England squad? Because I'm looking at that midfield, and Elliot Anderson
Disappointing.
hasn't been tearing up trees.
No.
Jude Bellingham has been really, you know, basic apart from the goal that he scored. So why isn't Mainu making the team?
Yeah, Tuchel, some of his decision making has been questionable in a sense. I mean, Mainok did come on in the first game. He didn't have a bad sort of run out, but I was disappointed he didn't come on in the last game. And you see what I like about him is he's very good with the ball in tight spaces, especially if a team is pressing and stuff. That's sort of his game. And look, hopefully he gets game time in the next game because England do have to win that to confirm qualification. Uh, so hopefully he does get a run out and does make an impact for England, and hopefully he keeps his place in the team going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I see all the dishes are pulling in. You're right, I'm Sheikh. Seems Cole and Roshni, Uncle Mohsin, stop rubbing it in our face that you're in Cape Town. Enough now. Please come back now. Roshni is missing you. Tasin, hello, brothers. England missed a trick not taking Foden. I mean, not only Foden and Rio, but I think not taking Maguire to
Maguire,
bring some of that stability. A player like Cole Palmer, who, yes, wasn't in the greatest of form, but he's a
but he can be
maverick, man. That boy can do anything. And then
he's a
taking a
game
player
changer.
like Jordan Henderson just to keep motivation high in the squad.
The
I
farewell
think
tour, farewell tour,
Tuchel.
farewell tour, farewell tour.
Yeah, I think Tuchel missed the trick there, man. I think Tuchel missed the trick.
Yeah, no, very disappointing in terms of England's performance in the last game. To be honest, the first game they did well. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But hopefully, like I said, Mainu gets game time in the next game, and obviously, if they make the knockouts going forward in deep into the tournament. But Maguire has definitely been a big miss. It just
Shame on
brings a
you, Tasin
calmness.
Dasu.
Leave Tassin alone, man. Van Disney hasn't been tearing up trees in the World Cup anyway.
There's
So like I
some
said,
cousinly love there. Masood, let's move away from the United boys. Let's go on to the big debate. We've got trolls coming in, specifically for that. Ronaldo versus Messi. But I don't want it to be a Ronaldo versus Messi discussion. I want you to talk us through. For me, this is a closing of a chapter almost. In the 2006 World Cup, it's like we almost said goodbye to players like Del Piero. We said goodbye to players like Zidane, etc. Right? That was like the goodbye to them. This World Cup is a goodbye to players like Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, and all I'm hearing is, Messi is better than Ronaldo, Ronaldo's better than Messi. Can't we just enjoy them? These guys are supposed to be his, like towards the end of the career, but they still banging the goals, man of the match performances. Masood, talk us through that, man.
yeah, but even you know what, you're always going to have people on one side of the argument and other people on the other side of the argument. You're never going to please everybody, and the Messi stands and the Ronaldo stands will always never agree that this one is they both good, and never say that, never appreciate both of them, because for them their favorite is the goat. And if you transcend it to other sports, like if you take tennis, in a era of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, had those three not been around, do you think Nadal or Federer would have won so many Grand Slams with the one not pushing the other one?
No, no, you
and
need
that,
it. You
and
need it.
and that's what motivation Messi and Ronaldo have for each other, is that they keep pushing each other, whether it's scoring goals, whether it's getting Ballon d'Ors, you know. So it's a matter of us appreciating. Look, you're not going to agree on who's the better stylistic player or who's the better has the better mentality, because it's all subjective. Everyone's opinion
100%.
is going to be different. So it's and then to then also compare players from generations. doesn't do justice because you can never compare Maradona to a Messi because the fields that Maradona went through playing on compared to now. Also, what he could do halftime in terms of refreshments was different to what it happens now. And 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 also, Ibi, the fitness of today compared to the past is completely different. So
No, I get it.
you can't compare generational talent in terms of cross generations. Like if you're taking cricket, you can never compare Kohli and Tendulkar. They're both amazing
100%.
players, but Tendulkar
And I
was
think these guys
head
have
and shoulders
proven.
above.
And I think these guys have proven this World Cup. Messi kind of taking the top goal scorer of World Cups as a midfielder. That's fantastic. Kind of doing that. And Ronaldo scoring in 6 consecutive World Cups. They're showing their longevity. They're showing the class that they have. And will continue to do that until they decide to hang up their boots, right? But we should just enjoy this World Cup for what it is. It's these guys having a last swan song, but not going out on a whimper. They really want to show who they were. And I don't think we'll ever have a generation of footballers like Ronaldo and Messi
Mm-mm.
at the same time doing the things they did in terms of the numbers, in terms of the goals, in terms of the longevity, like we've seen now, right? I seen a crazy stat that if Haaland wants to match Ronaldo and Messi from a longevity perspective, he needs to score like 30 or 35 goals a season for the next 15 years. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. Honestly,
Ex-
I don't
exactly.
see anything happening in that run.
No, no, and see, like after Messi's hat trick, it sort of motivated Ronaldo to definitely score in the last game. You know what I'm
Hundred
saying? So
percent.
at this age, also they pushing each other. You know that mentality is still there,
Oh,
and that's
and
why.
Ecuador with the equalizer, 1-1. Angulo, thank you.
Yeah.
I am the chef. Let me just run through here. Maguire, I think they can do without. I think we looked at that. Masood Tassin says he don't take anything away from the Black Stars. Ronaldo all the way from Tassin. I am the chef. We are truly blessed to have witnessed two of the greatest players ever to grace the game. I 100% agree
100%.
with that. Niche fan, Got I love that. Goal watch, Cote d'Ivoire, one up.
Yes.
Pepe,
Well done.
love it. What a goal,
Well
says
done.
Uncle Mosin Desu. Fantastic stuff. So, guys, when it comes to the Ronaldo Messi debate, you can have your preferences, but let's just enjoy them both, man. Both are
Yeah.
fantastic. Both get you off your seat. We've enjoyed them. We've been on the hammering of Messi. We've seen Ronaldo hammer teams playing on the with the United shirt on. Even now in his old age, right at 36, when he came back to the Premier League. If you remember that hat trick against Spurs when we were down and out. So these guys will continue, and I think when they decide to hang up their boots, we are going to be worse off as football fans. So let's enjoy it while they're still here.
Absolutely.
Absolute rocket. I think we're missing out a fantastic goal from the
Yeah.
Ivory
We
Coast.
should be finishing soon, maybe, so we can catch up on the games.
Exactly.
No,
Just a quick one, Masood, running into Manchester United. 5 minutes. Let's run through this quickly. Manchester United, two non-footballing announcements. Amazon Prime documentary finally signed off. I'm glad it wasn't a couple of seasons before because it would have been a comedy showcase. Does that put pressure on Carrick and the boys with the cameras around the locker room? And does it put pressure on them to kind of make sure they don't become the laughing stock of the football world? And the second, not non. And when I say non-footballing, I mean players and transfers and stuff. Obviously, all the news is football. We've bought some land for the stadium, not the freight area where everyone thought it was going to be. Your thoughts? Does this signal that we're really serious and going ahead with the stadium build? And what do you think about the documentary?
look, documentary can go two ways. Like we can be a comedy show, but I also think that the cameras around the team can motivate them. I mean, remember Sati's season when they won the league and stuff. They had the cameras around them as well. Where we get that as
Oh, we
well.
just had load shedding.
Load shedding. Yeah, thanks, Shake. So yeah, so that's also and that's also a thing to look at to motivate the players to have a good season. And then with regards to the land, look, the stadium's going to get done now. Whether it takes another 5 or 6 years, we're in the process of it getting done. Look, there might not be a lot of reports of what's happening on a daily basis or monthly basis, but in the background, things are happening. Um, so actually, so
He's
so
seen it live.
so
Love it.
so now the thing is, what I'm saying, what I think now is, they actually played a blinder with not going forward with the Freightliner land, because Freightliner sort of a 50 to 60 million pound land, they wanted like almost 300 pounds
The
from United.
United text, Masood, the United text is not only
Yeah, even
limited
even
to
even
transfers.
even for land, they want extra money from United. So what
That's
United did
ridiculous.
was what United did was they quietly bought the land sort of further on from Freightliner, and that's what they did. And there's just a small piece of land left. And what Freightliner don't realize, well, they probably do realize
They're going to
now,
be forced to
with
sell to United over time,
no,
man.
besides United, they are going to sell to United, or they're going to sell to the Trafford Council, or the
Yeah.
mayoral committee, because you see in the UK you get what they call a compulsory purchase order, where the mayor or the council can impose that, and they can't ask for market value price. Oh, well, not they
They
can
should
ask
have
for
just
market
sold
value
at the
price, not
normal price.
exactly. So they've actually lost out on some money, because with the new regeneration of Old Trafford, Freightliner is going to be probably moving somewhere else, because there's talk of that sort of operation going to another part of that part of the world in the northwest. So they actually must out on some good money.
Masood, I'm really liking this discussion. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time to unpack
Yeah,
it,
we
but I
can we
think
can do an in, we can do yeah, we can do an
we need
in-depth
to have
one
a session where we
after
really
after the World
unpack.
Cup.
Yeah, we will really unpack what Ineos is doing behind the scenes at Manchester United, because I think a lot of the times, we as United fans get
Negativity.
frustrated because of the clickbait news and stuff. But I know you've been kind of assessing, Ineos since it's come in. So maybe we do a bit of a scorecard on Ineos and what
Yeah,
they've
just
done
just
and kind of fix things
just
up.
just one more thing on the stadium thing. The regeneration task team, or whatever it is, from the mayor, they have an announcement coming up on the 9th of July. So that will also be the stadium thing would be part of that announcement. So we should be waiting in the next week, or sort of 10 days or so. We will have some more news on firm plans of what's happening with the stadium itself and the area around the stadium going
No,
forward.
fantastic stuff. Masood, let's lock in some time after this to kind of unpack a lot of what Ineos is doing. And we can also talk a lot more about the Amazon documentary and the moolah that United will be making of it. Masood, quick 60 seconds. Take us through the transfers. A lot of news, a lot of people getting upset. Matthias Fernandez, almost a year we go for Tottenham. Looks like we've lost out on him. Apparently, we were going for Elliot Anderson, was too expensive. We then shifted to Tonali, too expensive. Now it looks like we're losing out on Matthias Fernandez. It looks like, from the outside, it looks like United are struggling again in this window. But is that the truth? And are we playing a blinder by getting people thinking we're going in one direction and actually have other targets in the back end?
We were having a poor transfer window last summer as well, Ibi. Don't you remember? Pla- Players were choosing not, but you see the difference with last year is Cunha, Buemo came out early and said that they want to play for United and no one else. So that made our lives a lot easier. Even Sene Lamans as well. They made it clear to their agents. Now I think the Fernandez thing is a lot has to do with his agent Jorge Mendes. He's Ronaldo's agent. He's
Super agent.
Mourinho. Mourinho's agent as well. So I think he's playing a game with Spurs in a sense that he's probably getting them the maximum amount fee, for West Ham. So they're using Spurs as that, but there's nothing concrete in the reports of the last 2 days. Everyone is saying that Spurs are in the forefront of that, but they haven't agreed a fee with Newcastle. They're still discussing personal terms with Fernandez. If they were so advanced in the deal, why isn't personal terms being reached? And I think United are also starting to play a game, because I've seen we've been linked with the German midfielder Nemecha, or whatever his name
Yeah.
is,
At
Felix
Dortmund.
Nemecha. Yeah, so I think United are pushing back onto the stories where, because a lot of fans, they take every news report as gospel, like, and then they go into PTSD mode about signings. When our good friend Ed Woodward used to be in charge of transfers.
Oh,
So They
Don't
have they
remind me
have
of that nightmare, Masood. Don't remind me of
they
that
have
nightmare.
flashbacks to that. So look, in the last 2 seasons, I think Ineos have been okay in the transfer market. And remember, this is the first season where the full recruitment team are playing a role. The data, Christopher Wavell, as head of recruitment, Wilcox in his proper role as director of football. So all these things will come through. It doesn't happen overnight. So in the next even 2, 3 transfer windows, once these guys are bedded in, so and if you all don't know, the head of data at United is the old data engineer from the McLaren, the Mercedes F1 team, Michael Sansoni. So
Yeah.
he's also playing a role in and we always get reports of Wilcox favors this guy and Vavel favors this guy, when our transfer is a whole recruitment team,
Data
is a
first
holistic.
approach.
Besides data, it's the data. The data department doesn't make a decision. It's the data team gives you the players, the head of recruitment, and them then take the players and then present it to director of football. So it's a in Islamic term, it's a mashwara.
I love it. Again, Masood, I think the transfers deserve a session on its own where we can kind of run through some of our concrete targets. But
And
Masood,
and
it's
and
been
Maybe I was
fantastic.
also with the
Yeah,
World Cup, a lot of teams, they transfer all their transfer activity will
will be
start
slowed down.
once teams start going out of the World Cup and players go back on holiday and then they're ready to move and stuff. It will start ramping up the transfer window as well.
No, 100%. Niche fan, Messi's a cheater and they're protecting him at the World Cup. It's fixed. I
I
mean,
think
listen,
we
I'm
must
not
get
going to
Nisha in
get
our
down.
WhatsApp group. We must get Nisha in the WhatsApp group to get to
Yeah,
attack
yeah, get
Uzaifa.
him in the WhatsApp group. He can take on Trezor.
Yeah,
Trezor and Uzaifa. Listen, I'm not gonna go into whether he's a cheat or not, but that was definitely a red card in
a
that
red
incident.
card, hundred
I'm the
percent.
chef. Live. I've seen it live. Mufti, we've seen that. I still believe United will buy Freightliners. Lens says Uncle Mohsin Besu, 100%. Masood, it's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, if you're on here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Masood will be coming on a lot more, and we're gonna we're gonna unpack behind the scenes at United, especially what we're doing from a transfer perspective. But it's been a fantastic session, Masood. Always great chatting to you. Big up, gentlemen. Salams. Thank you guys for the love. Thanks for the comments. And Masood, always a pleasure. And with that, we are going to Old Trafford. Thank you,
Currently,
Mr. Tasu. Salam alaikum.
thanks, Ibi. Right, salam.